स्टूडेंट्स हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, यूट्यूब चैनल सोशो क्लासेस में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम इस वीडियो में पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बीए सेकंड सेमेस्टर के मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं। नेम ऑफ द पेपर इज़ इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। इसका कोड है PUBDSC2। ये NEP के अकॉर्डिंग है, जो न्यू सिलेबस है उसके अकॉर्डिंग मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस तैयार किए गए हैं। इसके पहले हमने सोशियोलॉजी के मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस यहाँ डिस्कस किए थे, वहाँ से अपने पेपर की तैयारी कर सकते हो। इसका सिलेबस भी यहीं पे मिल जाएगा। अगर इसके अलावा और ज़रूरत है तो इसको हिंदी मीडियम या पंजाबी मीडियम में चाहिए तो आप मैसेज कर सकते हो। ये रेगुलर प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटी स्कूल ऑफ ओपन लर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स के लिए है। शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन सबसे पहले, कॉलोनियल लीजेसी, नेक्स्ट 2 फंक्शंस ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट एंड देन 2 फंक्शंस ऑफ स्टेट काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स, रेजिडरी पावर्स, सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशंस, 2 फंक्शंस ऑफ स्टेट सेक्रेटेरिएट, who administers the oath of office to the governor, who decides whether a bill is a money bill or not, how many members are nominated to the Rajya Sabha and by whom, and then who communicates to the president all decisions of the become the council of ministers under article 78, and then give 2 functions of cabinet secretariat, 2 powers of supreme court, state 2 functions of district administration, meaning of BS corps, state 2 safeguards against the misuse of delegated legislations, and then give 2 methods of legislative control over administration, and then give 2 reasons for the growth of delegated legislation, and then how can the judges of Supreme Court be removed, and then what is the tenure of governor, and next question, how many subjects are there in union list, name 2 of them, and then write down 4 functions of Rajya Sabha, and next mention the conditions to impose national emergency in India, and then what is impeachment, and next question, distinguish between cabinet and council of ministers, and next enumerate 4 states with bicameral legislature, and then mention the field from which president nominates members in Rajya Sabha, and next enlist the discretionary powers of governor of state, and next write down 4 subjects of union list, and next mention the qualification to become judge of high court in India, and then what is writ of quo warranto, and then mention 4 functions of deputy commissioner, and next give the composition of Indian parliament, and then how is the prime minister of India appointed, and then give 2 powers of the prime minister in relation to council of ministers, and next give 2 discretionary powers of the governor. ये क्वेश्चन रिपीट हो गया। गिव द कॉम्पोजिशन ऑफ लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल ऑफ स्टेट, नेम द सेशंस ऑफ द इंडियन पार्लियामेंट, and then name the writs issued by Indian courts, and next by whom is the cabinet secretary appointed, and then name any 2 modes of legislative control over Indian administration, give any 2 functions of the cabinet secretary, and then give 2 features of Indian administration, what is the composition of Rajya Sabha, and then who appoints the chief minister of a state, and next give 2 functions of the state legislature, and then how can the judges of high court be removed, and next give 2 methods of legislative control over our administration, explain the writ of mandamus, what do you understand by delegated legislation, give 2 functions of chief secretary, and give 2 functions of district administration, and then give 2 reasons why India opted for a strong center, and next is mention the articles relating to emergency, and then who all take part in the election of the president, and then which house of the parliament is presided over by the vice president, and next tenure of Rajya Sabha, and next give any 2 functions of the governor, who appoints the chief secretary of the state, and next how can the chief justice of high court is removed, and 2 defects of Indian judicial system, and then qualifications of governor, taxes levied by union government, to ways of judicial control over administration, Article 356, and next delegated legislation, term of Lok Sabha, and then nominated members of Rajya Sabha, qualification of governor, two ways of judicial control over एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। ये क्वेश्चंस रिपीट है यहाँ से लेके आर्टिकल 356 भी रिपीट है। नेक्स्ट भी टू फंक्शंस ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट, उसके बाद है रेजिडरी पावर्स, सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशंस, टू फंक्शंस ऑफ स्टेट सेक्रेटेरिएट, टू क्वालिफिकेशंस टू बी प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया, two features of council of ministers, term of Lok Sabha, how is the governor appointed, how many subjects are there in union list, how is chief justice of India appointed, good governance, two functions of cabinet secretary, two functions of state secretariat, give four functions of a chief minister, explain no confidence motion of Lok Sabha, and then what do you mean by delegated legislation, name any two subjects of the central list, and then what is impeachment, state two problems related to Indian judicial system, what is writ of Rio, and state two challenges to contemporary district administration। ये शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस थे, इनकी तैयारी अच्छे से कर लेना, इसी में से आपका पेपर आना है। आगे है यूनिट फर्स्ट, ये लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन है, हर एक यूनिट में से 2 लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन आने हैं, ये इस तरह से हो सकते हैं। इनकी तैयारी अच्छे से करना और इन क्वेश्चंस को मोल्ड करके ज़रूर डाला जा सकता है, लेकिन इसी में से होगा। Discuss various features of Indian administration, discuss the composition and functions of Lok Sabha, and then discuss the composition and functions of Rajya Sabha, and then discuss the appointment, power, functions and position of the President of India, and then discuss the appointment, power, functions and position of the Prime Minister of India, and then how is the President elected, give his powers and functions. Critically discuss the emergency powers of the President of India and how is the Prime Minister of India appointed, discuss his functions and role, and then discuss the composition, functions and role of Union Legislature. Unit second, discuss the administrative relations between the center and the states, discuss the composition and functions of State Legislative Assembly, and then discuss the composition and functions of State Council of Ministers, and critically discuss the center and state legislative relations, and discuss the appointment, functions and role of Chief Minister of State, and then discuss the appointment, power, functions and role of Governor of State, and then critically examine the center-state administrative relations, and then how the Chief Minister appointed, discuss his powers and position, how the Chief Minister appointed, discuss his position and functions. Unit third, discuss the composition and functions of the Supreme Court of India, and then discuss the composition, functions and role of Supreme Court of India, and then detail note on composition, functions and role of High Court of India, and then discuss the legislative control over administration in India. How does the legislature exercise control over administration in India? Define delegated legislation, discuss the reasons for its growth and safeguards. What is delegated legislation? Give reasons for its growth in present time, and then write a note on delegated legislation. Explain the legislative and judiciary control over administration. Unit fourth, discuss the structure and functions of district administration of your state, and then discuss the powers, functions and the role of cabinet secretary. Elaborate the appointment, functions and role of cabinet secretary. Cabinet secretary has a very important role to play in Indian administration. Discuss, and then discuss composition and functions of the cabinet secretariat, and then write down the composition, functions and role of state secretariat, and then discuss the appointment, functions and the role of chief secretary of a state, and then discuss the appointment, functions and role of deputy commissioner in district administration, and then give the role and functions of the deputy commissioner. स्टूडेंट्स, ये थे लॉन्ग एंड शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस, इनकी तैयारी अच्छे से कर लेना, इसी में से पेपर आना है। क्वेश्चंस यहाँ भी मोल्ड करके डाले गए हैं, कईयों के आंसर सेम है, रिपीट हुए हैं, और इसी तरह आपके पेपर में भी क्वेश्चन मोल्ड करके डाले जा सकते हैं, तो इसीलिए ये क्वेश्चन यहाँ दिए गए हैं। और बाकी सब्जेक्ट्स के वीडियो की अगर आपको ज़रूरत है तो कमेंट बॉक्स में जाके कमेंट करना। थैंक यू सो मच। सोशियोलॉजी के पूरे सिलेबस के वीडियो यहीं पे मिल जाएंगे, वहाँ से अपने पेपर की तैयारी कर सकते हो। पंजाबी मीडियम में भी वीडियो बनाए गए हैं, कुछ हिंदी में और इंग्लिश में भी। तो सोशियोलॉजी के पूरे सब्जेक्ट के पूरे सिलेबस के वीडियो प्लस मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस का वीडियो भी यहीं पे मिल जाएगा। थैंक यू सो मच। मिलते हैं हम अपने अगले वीडियो में।